This episode of the Rob's Podcast with Maddie West is brought to you by Emporium Hair Salon, now under new ownership. Emporium is a full-service hair salon offering cuts, color, extensions, barbering, facial waxing, as well as bridal and special occasion hair. They are also a Redken and Moroccan oil retailer, and of course, you should always shop local. Emporium offers Curotherapy smoothing systems with almost 4,000 square feet, plenty of room for social distancing with at least 6 feet between all stations. They have 18 stylists and have booth rental space available. So if you're ready to look and feel your best, check out Emporium Hair Salon on Evansville's East Side, 4913 Theater Drive. Call them at 812-401-1941. And as a special offer for listeners of the Rob's Podcast, Maddie West, if you mention you heard it here, they're going to give you 10% off of your first service. That's Emporium Hair Salon. Schedule your first appointment at 812-401-1941 and get 10% off. Today's show also brought to you by Goldtree Realty. If you are looking to buy or sell your home, you definitely want to talk to our friends at Goldtree Realty. With Goldtree Realty, you'll be dealing with experienced real estate agents and investors. They can handle sellers in any conditions. So if your property is ready to go with no repairs needed, or if it needs a little TLC, Goldtree Realty can get you that sold sign on your lawn, sometimes even with a cash offer in as fast as 72 hours. And if you're looking to buy a house, Goldtree Realty specializes in helping buyers find their dream home. Give Andrew, Jason, or any of the experienced and knowledgeable members of the Goldtree Realty team a chance to help you buy or sell your next home in the Evansville area. Call 812-432-2556 or like them on Facebook, facebook.com/Goldtree Realty. Once again, that's Goldtree Realty, 812-432-2556. And if you would like to advertise on the Rob's Podcast and Maddie West, please email the Rob's Podcast at gmail.com. As we stroll into episode number 16, I'm going to bring up Maddie's mic and I'm going, I don't know what the proper, if like this is one of those like a very special episode of the Rob's Podcast with Maddie West.
It is very special. It's the social distancing episode. It's only this time it's for good reason.
I don't know if it's for good reason.
Well, it's for bad reason, but it's necessary.
Why don't you tell everyone, I know you kind of spilled the beans on social media earlier.
Yeah. So I got the COVID.
Maddie.
I got it.
I don't know.
It got me. We have each other. I have COVID. COVID has me.
So
that's why I'm in my backyard.
As opposed to the studio here.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know when you told me this. You told me this earlier in the week.
Yeah. I found out Monday.
I didn't know what to say, what to do.
My condolences.
Well, I mean, it's like it's such a new thing in our world. You're like the first person I really know, like in my heart, that I would call like a friend.
Right.
Like I've seen people on Facebook with it, and I've seen on like TV with it.
Right.
But you're the first one I know that's like actually care about that's like got it, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, stay 6 feet away from me for at least 10 to 14 days.
Can do.
We'll start there.
No problem.
Yeah, so, my crackhead neighbors are screaming.
This is what happens during social distancing. Also, just so you know,
they're too close. They're too close.
All hell is breaking down around me, too. I'm trying so hard to focus on you and only you. So I'm trying. There's a lot going on here too.
Yeah, so. No, this might just be titled "The Shit Show." That's probably the title card for this episode. So about a week ago, my younger sister was complaining that she felt sick, and of course, the first thing we all do is say, oh, "It's COVID." You know, like almost like in a joking way, just because anytime someone sneezes nowadays, you're like, "COVID." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we were kind of joking around and we were like, oh, what if you have COVID? And she's like, no, I don't think so. Like, I think it's just a sinus infection. So she goes to the doctor and believe it or not, like she has like congestion. She's got stuff going on and they don't test her for COVID. Like I thought that was just like the standard nowadays is to test no matter what.
Yeah.
And they didn't test her, which I don't know where she went, but in my opinion, that's malpractice. Like, I don't know what kind of quack you went to, but they don't test her for COVID. And so she was like, no, they just like prescribed me an antibiotic. I'm fine. And so I was like, yeah, sure, you can come to my house then.
Maddie.
That is the moment when she knew she fucked up.
This was your younger sister?
Yeah, my little sister. And so then after a couple more days, she's like, I'm still not feeling very well. I think I'm just going to go get a test on my own. Even though the doctor said he didn't think it was necessary, I'm still just going to do it because I'm not feeling better. And so she went. And like I said, in the meantime, she had been to my house. And then she texted me Sunday night and was like, hey, I tested positive for COVID.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, I mean, she's been in my house, drinking my beer, holding my child. And
oh, man.
And so I was like, well, I guess obviously, my son's toy is rolling. And so it's messing up my,
your camera.
I have it on the wheels of like one of his big trucks. So I went Monday morning, the first available appointment, before I went and did anything and saw anyone. I was like, I just need to go get tested. And then Sunday night, it was all like, hey, Maddie, you have a message available in my chart, which is like, the deaconess.
Oh, I'm familiar with my chart.
You. And so I'm like, okay, cool. And I went on there and it was like, information critical.
Oh, really? Like, is that what it says?
Yeah. So I clicked on it and it was all, bitch, guess what?
No, what is it? Like, what does it say? Like, what does it actually?
So it just says information critical. And then it says your test for COVID-19 in parentheses. I can send you the screenshot and we can put it up.
You actually can't screenshot my chart.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Mine says my chart doesn't allow you to take screenshots anytime I try to screenshot it.
Oh, no, I screenshotted it just fine. Maybe it's an Android thing.
I mean, but if they say,
yeah, so
whatever, maybe. I won't let you speak down about Androids like that. That's a my chart thing.
So it said information critical, and then it said your test for COVID-19 parentheses coronavirus is positive. You should quarantine at home at this time. Someone with the state health department will be in contact with you shortly. And so I was like,
the state health department.
Yeah. So they called me yesterday and asked me 500 fucking questions. They're like, did you go anywhere? Did you see anybody? Did you do anything for the last 2 weeks? Is how long they want to know back. 2 whole weeks before. Right. And I'm like, I don't have a job or anything. So like, I don't really go very many places. And I was like, well, we went to dinner Saturday. And they're like, well, have you been to any drugstores or grocery stores or that? And I'm like, oh my God, the last 2 weeks? Yeah. I mean,
of course.
It's so hard to think of like everywhere you've been for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
And they're like, do you know who you got this from? And I'm like, that bitch Brooke. I know exactly where I got this shit from, because I do my part. I social distance. I wear my mask. I wash my hands, but it still got me anyway. Sometimes it be your own family.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think, because do you think that you've been out and about?
Yeah.
You've been out doing things. I mean, I see you checking in at gyms and I see you at strip clubs.
We do all that. Well, I haven't gone to strip club in a long time, but, I think the most we've done is like go get dinner and drinks. But again, we're
maybe
in and out.
Maybe
over the
past 2 weeks, but throughout quarantine, you've been living your best life.
Yeah, we've been doing fine.
So
still never got it. It's my own family that gave it to me.
Did anyone? Okay, I have so many questions. So the first thing is, I didn't know what you were going to look like, or if you were going to be like in bed. I called you up on this messenger and you were in the middle of a workout. You were running.
I was running on my treadmill.
You seem like you're healthier than you've ever been.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that that's the case. I definitely can't run as efficiently as I was running before because I got, I have COVID, but, I thankfully, since I found out, which has only been since Monday, so it's only been a few days, this stuff lasts for weeks and it's kind of known to progressively get worse. And I can say in my situation, definitely has progressively gotten worse, but still only very mild symptoms. So when I found out I was positive, the only thing I had that day was a headache, which I just thought was like a menstrual headache or something. I didn't read too far into it. I was just like, it's just a headache. And then the next day,
it is your time of the month, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah, I remember. Some things haven't
Thank God
changed.
she came this month. Every month's a real close call. But along with Mother Nature came COVID. They teamed up this month. It was very, very exciting couple days, the last few days. But I would say, yeah, in my situation, it's progressively gotten worse. So this would be, I guess, day 4, technically 5, I guess, since I found out. And every day it gets a little bit worse.
So but you're getting worse,
headache.
but you're still you seem so vibrant and you're running.
Yeah,
and
no, all my symptoms are still very mild, even the ones that are there. So it's like today I woke up with a sore throat, which is new, but it's still not horrible. You know what I mean? Like, it's still tolerable.
That first excuse I get to not run, I jump all over it.
Well, actually, this sounds really stupid for me to say. It sounds really like, but running helps break up all the congestion. And so actually it's helped me a lot. I mean, I'm not like doing sprints or anything, but like a jog on the treadmill and stuff, it really helps like loosen up all the mucus. So actually that's been helping me. And the crazy thing is, like, literally the day before I found out I had COVID, I bought a treadmill for my garage.
I saw you soliciting for it.
Yeah. And so it kind of just worked out like, hey, you can't go to the gym for 2 weeks, but at least you have a treadmill in your garage. So it's basically like quarantine all over again. I'm just doing like at-home workouts.
I greatly prefer doing that stuff at home as opposed to out with people. I mean,
oh, no, not me.
I'm sure you love to gallivant.
I love it. Yes. I love to go to the gym. I love to go to, my cycling classes and stuff. I miss it a lot.
Oh man, I greatly prefer it. I mean, I'm the opposite of you. Like, I hate doing it. I hate working out, but I would much rather do it by myself, like in front of a TV in my home, than out with people looking at me and sweating and having to drive and shower and stuff like that. I just rather be at home.
Yeah. I just like, I can't find the motivation when I'm just here, because it's just like, I'm here, but my couch is right there. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And my favorite Netflix shows are right there.
But you can, and so you're on a treadmill. You can watch those shows.
Well, not when it's in my garage.
Okay. You can't get a smart TV out in your garage. You're Shelly's daughter. I refuse to believe.
Speaking of Shelly, she's actually under the knife as we speak.
Really? Oh, that's right.
Yeah. She's getting her facelift.
Like, this is like, you guys are like, I got a Snapchat from her on an airplane a couple days ago. And I'm just like,
you think I gallivant? That bitch gallivant.
No, but I'm just like, these guys don't care at all. Like, this is her second time that I know of. No, wait. How many planes has she been on since COVID?
It's like 3 or 4.
It's at least, yeah. And you guys are just like, I'm just.
But I think the most surprising thing is it's starting to rain. I'm going to have to move in my crotch. I think the most surprising thing is.
By the way, I think I'm looking at your tiki torches.
Yeah.
We have those in our backyard too.
Yeah, we got them from Roll King, I think.
No, we don't we got ours from Lowe's.
Somebody is here. Someone's at my house. I have COVID. Go away. It's like the perfect excuse.
No, I mean,
it's my groceries. My groceries are being delivered.
Or do you need to like go or anything? Or are you okay?
No, I'll make Kent get it, because Kent has to stay at home too. So
that was okay. So obviously that's because you've got a husband and a son. And how are you handling it within your home?
Well, get this shit. So I tested positive on Monday. Obviously, Kent went and got a test right away. We were just kind of, I don't want to put Woodson through it if I don't have to. You know what I mean?
My understanding, and I'm not educated on this at all, but my understanding, and I even heard Trump say this on Tuesday, it doesn't affect kids at all like it affects grown-ups, from what I understand.
I mean, so far, Woodson, thank God, has shown, and I mean, knock on wood, he's shown 0 symptoms. Like, he's completely fine, totally normal. Thank God. Kent was... he had a headache too, but again, like, the weather's been so weird and stuff. So he's always had sinus issues anyway. And he didn't show hardly any symptoms either. I was really the only one showing symptoms. And I'm still like a little stuffy.
Has he gotten tested?
Yeah. So he got tested Tuesday. I got my results back Monday night that said I was positive. So he got the first appointment he could Tuesday, and he got his test results last night, and he is negative for COVID.
Are you guys like, do you sleep in the same
Tell
bed?
me how that shit makes any sense.
Well,
Yes, we sleep in the same bed. Our marriage is fine.
I didn't mean to I mean, I don't know what would happen if Brittany got the COVID, but I might sleep on the couch for 14 nights.
At that point, we were like totally assuming my stroller's in the rain. We were totally assuming that he had it too. We were like, there's no way that he doesn't. You know what I mean? And so we were like, at that point, we were like, it's too late. You know what I mean? Like, he has to have it. I have it. Brooke has it. Brooke was over here with Kent. Brooke was over here with me. I mean, like, there's just no way that he doesn't have it. And then his test results came back negative. And we were like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, how would his test results be negative? And so he called them back and he was like, so my wife has COVID and my test results just came back negative. Like, what do I do? Can I like go to work and stuff like that? And the nurse on the phone was like, no, definitely don't go to work if your wife has COVID. Like, it's very possible that you tested too soon. It's possible that you got like a false negative. So basically treat it as if you had it. And so we're just like pretending that he has it, I guess. So he's still quarantining as long as we're quarantining. And then that's just it. His work obviously isn't letting him come in until quarantine's up. So
I know for me.
Hold on, I have to tell Kent to get the groceries from the front door.
Okay, sure. I know for me, I mean, I know that like I'm already immunocompromised. I'm diabetic.
Can you get the groceries from the front door? Okay.
So like I said, I'm immunocompromised as a diabetic. There's the potential of dying. There's the awful way it will make me feel if I got COVID. But for me, the worst thing would be my wife would be so pissed at me. I'd be in trouble.
What, for catching it?
Yeah, and bringing it into the house and everything. Was Kent pissed at you?
Oh no, absolutely not.
She'd be so pissed at me.
Well, I mean,
I'm already in trouble because you have it.
I mean, it wasn't my fault. I don't think that I necessarily like picked it up from going anywhere or doing anything. I got it from my sister. And that's just the thing is like, I could have easily picked it up from going to dinner Saturday night just as easily as I could have picked it up from hanging out with my sister. You know what I mean? And so it was just like, I mean, I hate to say it because it is such like a serious virus. I mean, obviously I have it right now. I'm taking it extremely seriously, but I feel like it's just one way or another. Like, I feel like no matter how careful you are, there's still that chance that you could get it no matter what. Like, even if you're social distancing, then it's like, okay, well, your family comes to visit you and visit your son and one of them has it and doesn't even realize it yet. You know, so it's just like one of those things that it was just like,
but still, you're talking about,
it wasn't,
you say you could have caught it at dinner Saturday night, but a lot of people would maybe say it's not the best time to go out and eat dinner. You can get you can get delivered or whatever. Like we're not eating in restaurants.
Yeah. I mean, I got it.
I know.
And
I'm just giving you,
I'm just getting it is that the chances of you getting it again are pretty slim once you have it because your body kind of builds up the immunity to it. And so,
I've heard you can get it again, although it is rare.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. But it's rare because your body has already kind of built up, like its own immunity to it. So that makes me feel kind of good that,
so in 2 weeks, I'm going
to be any more.
So in 2 weeks, you're just going out and you got nothing to worry about anymore. You're just
the strip club ain't ready.
I don't know if any strip club in the city is ready.
No.
So,
yeah, like I said, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, if I would have caught it at the restaurant, I would have caught it at the restaurant. If I would have caught it from my sister, I would have caught it from my sister, you know, and it was just like, I feel better that I like didn't catch it at a strip club. You know what I mean? Like, I feel better about myself that it's like, okay, like it literally was because I was sitting in the same room with someone with COVID and not following COVID protocols. So like, that's how I caught it.
You may not have caught it at the strip club, but maybe Brooke did.
She has no idea. That's the thing. Like, she's trying to trace back to where she possibly could have caught it because no one she knows has it and no one that she knows has had it. And with the symptoms I'm experiencing, it almost makes sense why this has gotten so big so fast, because my symptoms still wouldn't have convinced me to get tested yet if I wouldn't have known my sister had it. Like if I felt like I did right now, I would still come into the studio today and I would still record this podcast. I don't feel sick enough to be worried.
See, so
you know
let
what I mean?
let me talk to you about that. So on Friday, so a week ago, I woke up with like a little bit of a head cold, and I was like, not even at all thinking about COVID or anything like that.
Right.
But I just, the change of the seasons, just some gunk, in my throat, still went to work. But Saturday, Brittany's like, you got to get a COVID test. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. She made me an appointment. I went, and I know it did, my results were negative, but like, we take it super duper seriously. And I thought that was going to be one of the fun things I could have brought to the table this week. Was like, hey, you know what? Have you ever had a COVID test? Because I got one this weekend. Here's what it was like. But turns out you totally trumped.
I beat you to it.
You totally put that story. You pissed all over that story for me.
Well, yeah, like I said, feeling like I feel right now. I'm a little stuffy, but like you were saying, just the changes of the season, the fact that it's getting colder outside, we've had the windows open at the house. I would have never in a million years thought it was COVID. I'm not super paranoid about COVID necessarily, so I wouldn't have like got the sniffles and been like, oh my God, I have to get tested. You know what I mean? Even though I know that's probably the responsible thing to do. Kent's literally been tested like 6 times for COVID. Because every time he gets a sinus infection, he's like, oh my gosh, these are all the signs of COVID. I still, sitting here right now, would have never went and got a test if it wasn't for my sister telling me she tested positive and having been at my house and sitting at my kitchen table with me. And so I think that's why it's gotten so big so fast, is because there's probably a lot of people like me that would just dismiss it as a common cold and never get a test. And
it's gotten so bad because
knows how many people.
Nobody's staying isolated is the problem.
Right.
That's
I mean,
why.
we're going into stage 5 here in Indiana too, and the mask mandate is apparently about to be lifted. And so it's just like, at that point, all hell's going to break loose again.
I know.
We're going to go all the way back.
Like, that's the thing. And it's frustrating because, like, there's only so much I can do to protect my family when the rest of the world is allowed to go out and gallivant.
Yeah.
It's just, I wish, I don't know what I wish. I just wish it would all go back to normal.
I know. But I honestly think the only way it's going to go back to normal is when everyone has caught it and it's ran its course. Like, that's the only thing I can think of.
That's not Maddie. Do you know that so many other countries have gotten this under control?
Right, I know, but
masks and quarantining. I know. I'm not saying you, but just like we never had any federal mandate to stay put or wear a mask. Yeah. And the leaders are not really taking it very seriously either, in my opinion. So that's why our response has been so much worse than even lesser developed countries across the globe that have gotten this under control. We can't do it. And that's why we can't do it.
I think, given that it doesn't get any worse, for me personally, even though it has gotten a little worse every day, still tolerable, still able to run on the treadmill. I mean, this is a disease that attacks your lungs. Thankfully, my lungs are pretty healthy. So if my body doesn't fail me, which I'm really hoping it doesn't, then I think I'll be okay. Obviously, worst case scenario, that doesn't happen. I'm trying to stay on top of it. Obviously, taking all the precautions. I'm not going anywhere. Kent's not going anywhere. We're not taking Woodson anywhere. We're following the rules. And so if there's going to be somebody that spreads COVID while they have it, it's not going to be me. So I'm doing my part. I know that I have it and I'm following the rules. There are people that I've literally seen on social media, friends of mine that are COVID positive, and I know they're COVID positive, and they're like still going out to dinner and still doing things. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you literally know you have
this. But you know people with it that are doing that?
Yes.
Stop it.
I swear to God, I saw somebody on my social media last night that I know for a fact has it because we've had a conversation about it. Like, oh my gosh, I have COVID too. And they still were like out and about.
In some places, right now, in some places they could get locked up.
Right. And right now I feel fine. Like I said, had I not known I had it and someone was like, hey, do you want to go grab lunch? I'd say, sure. But
Why
I say no because
lunch? Just pick it, drive through and pick it up and go home.
I don't think so. I think as long as the state allows me to do it, I'll do it.
And we just got done saying why that's not working. Look what your state is about to go into stage 5 reopening.
I know.
Look at the leadership of the state, of the country, and you're trusting them. Our numbers.
No. I wouldn't say I'm trusting them.
You are.
I would say
what you just said was
they're giving me an inch and I'm taking an inch.
That's true, but they shouldn't be giving you an inch. I'm telling you, don't take an inch.
Well, I can't
especially now, yeah. Especially while Kent doesn't have it, yeah.
Right. And even though, like I said, even though Kent doesn't have it, he still isn't going and doing anything. Like, just because, like, his wife has it, we're touching the same things and using the same. He should
definitely not be going anywhere. He should not be leaving the house.
He is taking it just as serious as I am, even though his test is negative. Which, he's kind of on a high horse right now because he's like, I have the superior immune system.
That would also be Brittany too. Like,
yeah, she's like, look at you little peasant with COVID.
you and your type 2 diabetes and your increased blood sugar. You can't handle this COVID like my strong body can. That one that just pushed out a baby without. Did I mention without an epidural? I'd be hearing it nonstop.
But I think I literally was the most surprised to find out that I got it from my sister. I was not surprised at all that she has it because she's like me. I mean, they go to dinner, they go grab a drink, they'll go to lunch, they'll go do whatever. And so I wasn't necessarily surprised that she got it. I was surprised at all the things I've done since quarantine, and I get it from my sister.
That's true.
Like I've gone to Arizona, I've gone to the strip clubs, I've gone to bars, I've gone out to restaurants, and I've followed whatever rules were in place at that time. I've worn my mask, I've social distance, I've washed my hands, I've done all that, and I avoided it. But it literally came into my house. Like, I didn't catch it out here doing this, that, or the other.
Our approaches to COVID are so polar opposite. Where you're like, you just gave this laundry list of things that you've done, and I'm like, I can't believe you did any of those things.
Yeah, I know. And out of all of that shit that I did, it literally came to me.
Yeah, but it came to you.
Sat itself down at my kitchen table.
I mean, but all you girls are that way. You're all, I mean, Brooke's flown several times. Yeah. Brooke's flown several times since the pandemic, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I think at least once.
If you have stepped foot on an airplane since March, you cannot be surprised if you wind up with COVID, in my opinion.
Right.
If you've stepped,
not even an airplane. I mean, anywhere. Yeah.
If you've set
anywhere
foot,
that's not your house.
If you've set foot in a strip club and described the buttholes being rubbed across your face, you can't be surprised when you wind up with COVID at any point.
Well, surprisingly, it's face to face that you get the COVID from, not butt to face. It's face to face. So I'm good still.
I suppose droplets can come from any number of orifices, but okay, I see your point.
But it is pretty shocking because, like I said, Kent has tested negative. My sister's boyfriend is positive, which makes sense. And my mom tested negative. And mind you, my sister, my other sister, and my mom all work together. They're together all day long, face to face all day long. My mom tested negative. My other sister tested negative. Like, it's so far just me and my younger sister and her boyfriend out of the group that's been exposed that has actually tested positive. So,
wow,
that's surprising.
Is there anything else you want to say about COVID? Or here's another question. Are you like keeping any sort of like log of like your symptoms or like a video diary of what's happening with this?
I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, it's kind of more of like a mental note. Like I said, I woke up Monday and had a headache. Then I found out I was positive, and I was like, well, maybe that's where my headache came from. Tuesday, woke up with a headache and a little bit of congestion. Wednesday, woke up with headache, congestion, and like an upset stomach. So it's like every day it's gotten just a little bit worse. And that's why I'm trying to stay on top of like my working out and my running and stuff like that, is because I don't know how much longer I have to do it before it hits me like a bus, which is what happened to my younger sister. Like, she woke up and just kind of felt shitty. Then she kind of felt a little shittier, then a little shittier. And then she was just like on her ass for like 3 days, like miserable. And so I'm like impending doom is coming. Like I keep thinking like, gosh, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and then it's really going to hit. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and it's really going to hit. And thankfully it hasn't yet. I'm pretty like, I wouldn't say asymptomatic, obviously, because I have a few symptoms, but for as scary or as scared as I was when I found out, thank God it hasn't gotten that bad yet.
So
I
then
was terrified when I found out. Yeah.
I've been trying to leave this part of it in your court, but like I know, people love getting the episode every Friday, and I'm hoping that this episode's going to get up on time and everything. I think it will.
Yeah.
Even though there's electricians and coworkers around, and it's and you're in your garage, and it's a different schedule for us this week. Do you think you'll be able to? Do you want to do one next week? Do you want to try? Do you want to?
So long as my body lets me, I'll be here.
Okay, because I'm going to be curious. Because I'm going to try to like. I don't want to know like on the daily from you. I want to see you next week and to see like, hopefully you're not on some sort of ventilator or anything, but you seem so spry. It's just so crazy.
Yeah, I know it is crazy. And like I said, it's so early in it. So they tell you 10 days. That's what they told me after your positive test, quarantine for 10 days. And so that puts me at next Thursday. So like a week left until I'm free from quarantine. If I'm still showing symptoms or if I still have a fever or something like that, then I should stay in quarantine for as long as it takes for my symptoms to subside. But so I'm hardly in it. I've got 7 days out of 10 left, or 6 days out of 10 left. So I'm not even halfway through it yet. And so that's what makes me a little bit scared, is that I still have so much time. And I mean, there's a reason they give you this big, huge window, is because it can just kind of come up whenever and get as bad as overnight. There's people that were just like, oh my gosh, yeah, she ran a 5K yesterday and now she's on a ventilator like the next day. Like it can get really scary really fast. And I am scared. Like I'm scared for myself, but I'm also really scared for my son. Obviously keeping an eye on him like a hawk, like 24/7, making sure he doesn't show any symptoms, because although statistics show that, little babies are affected a lot less than adults, that's what scares me the most. So
Will's got his first.
Scary. I'd be lying if I was just like, I've got COVID, but I'm fine. Like, no, it's pretty scary when you sit and think about how bad it can get.
Will's got his first
how
cold.
Quickly.
It's we had took him to the emergency care yesterday because he's got some other stuff going on too, but for the most part he's super duper healthy. But he's got a double ear infection now.
Oh,
and even even that face you just made, it's like even he's just like he's handling it in such stride. He's the best. Like he's still looking for reasons to be happy. He's still running 5Ks on the treadmill every day. He's still crawling his 5Ks. Absolutely. He's crawling on the treadmill.
That's all we can do.
Putting out more calories than I am. It's remarkable. So this episode of the Rob's Podcast with Maddie West is brought to you by All About You DJ. Let All About You DJ host your next wedding, party, or event. All About You DJ specializes in wedding receptions as well as any other private parties, including birthdays, engagement parties, school dances, or any other special event you may need a DJ for. We work with you to ensure that your entertainment is perfect for your event. At All About You DJ, your event is not only important to you, but it's also important to us. We want to make sure that your event is memorable for all those involved. All About You provides everything you need to make sure your wedding is the event of your dreams, from dazzling photo booths to ensure your event is one your guests will never forget, to gorgeous uplighting to make your wedding photos really pop. All About You offers several different packages to fit your needs. You could even ask for me, the Rob, to host your party. Check out our 5-star reviews on Google and on Facebook.com/allaboutyoudj. Give us a call at 812-402-0610 or check us out online at allaboutyoudj.com. If you'd like to advertise on the Rob's Podcast with Maddie West, of course, email the Rob's Podcast at gmail.com. I've got do you want to do a little bit of news stuff before we get out of here?
Sure.
So the big story this week, without a doubt, hands down, did you watch the debates?
No.
Oh yeah, you don't have the TV. It wasn't on Netflix. You didn't watch it.
No.
Have you heard about them?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen like various memes and stuff about it. I saw probably the funniest one, not even from watching the debate, but just the funniest one just in the situation that we're in. And it said, Lord, if you ran out of presidents, just say that.
I'm going to tell you this.
I didn't even watch the debate to know that. Like, I already feel that way, even have not watched the debate.
I'm going to tell you this, and it pains me to say it, but I'm saying this. I would bet the entire farm, without a shadow of a doubt, I promise you, President Trump is getting reelected.
I think so too. As much as, like you said, if I hate to say it,
dude,
I think so as well.
I'm telling you, there's no, okay, with Hillary, it was close.
Mm-hmm. Right.
With Biden, it ain't even going to be close. And don't make it seem, I don't want it to be misinterpreted as if I'm happy about this.
Right.
And I kind of thought with 2020 going the way it was, with the way the pandemic's been, I'll say, mishandled, with the way the economy has disastrously fallen apart in the past 365 days, I kind of thought like maybe some people would come to their senses. And I'm telling you, he made racism cool again. And that's what else? Who else could do it?
Yeah.
Who else could do it? He was given an opportunity to condemn white supremacy in a situation where it would be awkward for him not to.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it.
And he didn't. No. Not even.
And his supporters love that.
Yeah.
Love it. And I said this. I know. That's what I'm saying.
I don't like it.
And it blows my mind, but I'm telling you, even though I feel strongly that Biden won the first debate, I don't feel like anybody's it didn't sway. No debate is going to change anybody's mind. It's a vote for Trump or against Trump. It's not a vote for Biden. I'm telling you, it's a mess, and we're going to get 4 more years of it.
I think so too. I'm in the same boat. I thought that the entire time. As much as I would like to see Biden win over Trump, I'm also, with the terms that it's probably not going to happen, just because, I don't know. It makes me kind of sad, but at the same time, it just makes me kind of sad. There's no other side of it.
I saw it described, and I can't think of like a better. Someone described it as the low point of American politics. And while I don't consider myself like a political buff, I can maybe think of like the Nixon impeachment and resignation and the Watergate stuff as the only other thing that could even come close to this. But it was way worse than Bill Clinton getting a blowy.
I don't think we should have been so hard on Bill.
Well, I think all things considered, to me, it's, again, not a political buff, but it was someone who was born in 1983. I feel like he may have been the best president of my lifetime. Again, I'm not an expert, don't really know all the ins and outs of what make them great, but it just seemed like the world was that was the last time the world was in like a good place. Right before that blowy. Yeah.
Have you ever been in a bad place with the blowy? Never.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's what made him so good. Was all those extramarital affairs. I'll take extramarital affairs all day, every day over what we have now. That's just me. I know
cheat on your wife. Who cares?
I know you're not huge because you only watch Netflix. But I love SNL. Well, let you know that tomorrow, if you're listening to this on Friday, Chris Rock is returning to host the season premiere of SNL. Jim Carrey is supposed to be portraying Biden, and musical guest.
I did know that.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Ooh, hot girl Meg.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Meg Thee Stallion.
Should be a killer episode to get things started with that. I saw this one. Didn't know if you had any thoughts about this. Do you do what do you do on a typical New Year's?
Well, since I've become a parent, not much.
Okay. Let's say there was no pandemic. What would your New Year's plans be this year, do you think?
I don't know, probably just go to a bar. Probably find some kind of bar that's having some kind of New Year's party and do that. If I had a sitter and there was no pandemic, I would probably do that, yeah.
Do you usually watch the ball drop? Is that a big part of your tradition?
Not really. The last few years, I would say the last 5 New Year's, a couple of them I've been on a snowboarding trip. usually we'll take like our annual snowboarding trip around that time of year because a lot of people have off work and stuff. And so a lot of the time I've just like been like in the mountains somewhere, which is cool, just with like my mom and my husband and stuff. But no, I never really watched the ball drop. But then the few that I've been here, I've either been like asleep by midnight or we'll just like stay up to midnight just so we can be like, Happy New Year, babe. Let's go to bed.
Were you wondering what they're going to do in Times Square this New Year's?
Oh, yeah. I guess I never thought about it.
Me neither. Yeah. But they announced it's going to be a virtual ball dropping this year.
Oh, my goodness. I've always wanted to virtually watch balls drop.
I feel like you have done that before.
I feel like that's in my Google history somewhere.
But there will not be allowed to be any sort of gathering for New Year's. And if you want to watch the ball drop, it's going to be done online, virtually. That sounds horrible.
That sounds awful. I would, again, rather be in the mountains somewhere.
So I told you a few weeks ago about Borat 2.
Yeah.
And so much has come out about it. I forget, do you think Borat's funny? Do you like?
Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, for sure. So I just saw
a trailer forever.
I saw a trailer for the new one. It looks like it's got potential. It's going to be going to Amazon Prime on
cool.
I believe the 23rd of this month, but later in October.
Cool.
I know you're a Netflix girl. Do you have Amazon Prime? You must have Prime.
Yeah.
So Prime Video, you'll be able to watch it?
Yeah.
So the full title is Borat, Gift of Pornographic Monkey to Vice Premier Michael Pence to make benefit recently diminished nation of Kazakhstan.
Nice.
That is the full title of it. And again, look for it later this month on Amazon Prime. And it's not coincidentally coming out, I believe, 10 days before the election.
It looks so horrible on the screen behind you. I look way better on my screen.
Only you, Maddie. Did you hear about the Lion King prequel?
No, but I feel like prequel we're getting more.
That's kind of where I'm at too. Now, okay, but here's the thing. It's going to be like the CGI live action version.
Okay.
What's wrong? Did you not like it? That live action one was solid, dude.
I already have COVID. I'm going through enough.
Okay.
I don't need to know that we're doing more prequels to like my childhood favorites. I have yet to watch one of the remake thingies of any movie ever.
Why?
Refuse.
You haven't
just refuse.
But you
never
love Lion
Beauty
King.
and the Beast, never Lion King, never nothing. I haven't watched any of them.
Is there a reason?
Yeah, I just feel like they were okay where they're at, and I don't like to see them in that way. I just like want to remember the Lion King, like just like the little cartoon in my head that, you know what I mean? Like, and then I see it in like.
But I still look, I love the live action one, but I still see Simba as like that little animated, Jonathan Taylor Thomas guy.
Right.
Is it just because you don't have Disney Plus? Is that why you haven't watched it?
It might be. I honestly should get that because with Woodson and stuff, I bet he would really like it.
Of course, dude. That's all. When my son sees like just like how Netflix has like the big N when it's loading.
Yeah.
Like so when we just click on Disney Plus and there's like a little Disney logo, Will's face lights up just at that logo.
Oh,
but
that's so cute.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is his jam. Mickey's Roadster Racers. Muppet Babies is a big one on there. Yeah, I guarantee there's a ton of stuff Woodson would love on there.
Okay, I'll get it. I'll do it.
Put the request in for Kent. And especially now you guys are locked down and you're actually staying in.
I know.
Do it.
I know. No shit.
All right. Well, it's going to be like a sequel prequel kind of thing. It's going to be like a sequel that kind of flashes back a lot to Mufasa's past.
Okay.
So, something if you care. And
it's going to be some Star Wars shit.
Yeah, I don't I don't know about Star Wars.
Or we find out some kind of shocking thing about Mufasa before he was Mufasa that we know.
Yeah, wouldn't it be crazy?
It's gonna blow our minds.
Yeah, there's like it's like a dark, like sordid past. Like, he was involved in trafficking of the lions or something, other cubs.
Yeah, I know.
I saw something about Caitlyn Jenner heading to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Is that I don't know. I know you like the Jenners and the Kardashians.
I do, but I'm curious. I don't think that Caitlyn Jenner is a housewife. I thought to be a housewife, you had to be like married to or divorced from like a really rich person. Well, I mean, I guess she's divorced from Kris Jenner, and that Kris Jenner's really rich, so I guess that counts.
I'm just here for your feedback because this is your world, not mine.
I'm just going to say it. I think that they're just using the whole Caitlyn Jenner transition thing to their advantage if they bring her on the show. I think that if Caitlyn was still Bruce pre-transition, Bruce Jenner wouldn't be on The Real Husbands of Beverly Hills.
I agree with you 100%.
I think they're just doing it because it's Caitlyn Jenner, and I don't think that that's right to like exploit someone's story like that.
I think a whole lot of people are using this transition to their benefit, including that entire family. So
no, I don't think you're wrong about that at all. But I don't think it's right to exploit someone's story like that for.
No, I think the story is there for exploitation. I think that Bruce or Caitlyn, whatever you want to call it, loves this. And that's
probably.
And
probably.
I think that's part of the problem of the perception of trans people in this country anyway. But because I'm not trans, people don't necessarily want to hear what my thoughts are on it. But I think it's,
I just hope that it's all done with good intentions from everyone's perspective, but it doesn't necessarily intrigue me in any way. Having her on it or not having her on it, it's not a show that I really care to watch regardless. I mean, I've watched it before, but I just see like a bunch of Shelleys and I'm like, this is my life.
Yeah, you already are one. I saw as an update to another former story, Uncle Ben's Rice changing its name to Ben's Original Rice.
Why? Why not Uncle?
I don't know. I don't exactly know, Maddie. Also, Cream of Wheat is removing the image of the black chef from all of its packages.
Okay. I get it. I mean, I get it. Okay. I get it. I mean, I don't get it, but I understand.
I mean, it's confusing again. Here's my thing. I just like am so scared to step on anyone's toes. You know what I mean? I'm always battling in my head of like what's right and what's wrong, and every day it's changing, and I'm just trying to learn as we go. I'm just doing the best I can to learn through this entire revolution. I'm just doing my best to just keep learning and keep trying my best to understand. What you said, I'm going to just go ahead and double down on what Maddie said.
Yeah, it is scary sometimes. Like I don't want to offend anyone. So the best thing I can do is just shut up and listen and learn.
Amen. That's what I'm doing too. I'm keeping my ears open. Yep. Listening. Yep. Learning.
I'm all about it, and I'm open and willing to learn. So if I'm wrong, tell me and I'll learn. I'll learn from it.
There's going to be a merchandising blitz of the song WAP that's about to happen. Cardi B is going to be marketing. She's already filed trademarks to put the WAP logo on. It says just about almost any product you can think of, including clothing, headwear, footwear, athletic bags, purses, jewelry, stickers, posters, alcoholic beverages, sports drinks, soft drinks, fruit juices,
all of it,
mineral water,
all of it.
I heard umbrellas. I heard raincoats.
I want a WAP umbrella badly.
Just want to get your thoughts. I know this is your wheelhouse.
Again, I'm listening. I'm learning. I'm purchasing.
I know you are. That's the thing. And to be honest with you, a raincoat or an umbrella with WAP on it, sign.
It just brings a whole other meaning to it.
Let's be exactly, yeah, like exactly that. It's so wet. I'm going to need my raincoat and my rubbers.
I'm going to get some WAP rain boots for sure.
So I know that you caught the COVID.
I did, yeah.
I did see that. So there's like this one company. I forget their name might even be. I'm not sure. They're notorious for taking like tragedies and making like sexy Halloween costumes out of them. Mm-hmm. They've said there is nothing sexy about COVID. They will not be making their sexy COVID costume this year.
Well, they can fuck off, because coming from someone that's had COVID, I'm running with it.
Or will you be something COVID for Halloween?
The sexy COVID costume is right here.
Ba-ba-da-ba. Now available with Rob's face on it.
I call this one the COVID 5K apparel.
You can still get your sexy Tiger King and sexy TikTok is getting banned costumes.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm here for that.
I saw this. I thought this was neat. Do you have an Alexa?
Yeah.
Do you have an Amazon Alexa?
I do, yeah. It's like Woodson's favorite thing ever.
We do too, and apparently they're about to start getting much smarter, especially for people like us who have kids, like babies. They're going to be adding some cool features. Like, for example, it can listen for the sound of breaking glass or doors opening when you're not supposed to be home, and can do things like turn the lights on and make noises and even call the police.
If it can make a noise when my door opens, that is like next level shit, because Woodson is in the phase right now where he keeps letting himself outside. And thankfully we have a fenced in yard, but our front door obviously it just goes to the street. And so we've been having to keep that shut and locked with like a little baby proof handle on it. But the back door is just like a toggle handle, not a spin handle. And so they don't have like a lock for that to keep him from opening it. And so there's been several times where we'll just be like hearing something and he'll be like out here riding his dirt bike.
They're saying,
and we're just like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, Will's not at that age. Like we're always within eye shot of him, but like they're saying it can eventually it's going to be locking your doors, not even if you ask it to, just because you usually do it this time and maybe you forgot.
That's so convenient. I like it.
Check this one out. It can hear, if it hears the sound of a baby crying, it can turn on a lamp or music to soothe the baby. Yeah, we
don't even have to parent anymore.
I know,
I
right?
said I didn't want another kid, but now Alexa's just going to raise my kid.
It can detect if you're snoring and turn off the TV.
Is she going to start breastfeeding?
Alexa's going to get the golden boobs.
Yeah, that's what I need to know, because, that's really one of my only hesitations. Is she going to rock the baby to sleep in the middle of the night? If so, I'll crank out another one tomorrow.
But I mean, here's the thing. So it's not common that Will wakes up in the middle of the night crying. But when he does, we need to put like a lullaby on or the TV on to help him fall back asleep. And if it would just do that automatically when it hears him crying, like that's amazing.
Right. That's incredible.
What a time to be alive.
I love it. A second kid isn't sounding so bad now.
Just at least wait 2 weeks, okay? For everybody's sake.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
All right. So you talked about being addicted to your phone a few weeks ago.
Yeah. It's worse now that I'm stuck inside.
Curious to see your responses to some of these questions. 1,000 Americans were polled. They were asked about various things. If you'd have to give them up for a month or give up your phone for a month.
Oh, okay.
So I'll give you some items or some things, and you tell me which would you rather get rid of for a month.
Okay.
First up will be alcohol.
Oh, I'd rather give up alcohol for a month.
Oh, that one I was curious where you're going to fall on that one.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that are surprised by that answer.
72% of people would rather give up alcohol. That's easy for me. I don't even drink.
Yeah, I really don't drink that often anymore anyway. The most drinking I do, unless I'm like celebrating something or like an event or something, is just like maybe a beer when I watch like a football game or something.
All right, Maddie.
But other than that.
Which would you rather give up for a month?
Uh-oh. I already know where this is going.
Your phone?
And it's that. It's the latter. It's the latter. I know what you're asking. It's the latter.
Or Netflix?
Oh.
She has to think. It's close, isn't it?
I guess my phone.
My son, really?
Yeah, because my son watches Netflix and all that stuff too, and that like keeps him entertained, and it would keep me entertained enough to not have to have my phone. So I think my phone.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say sex. I was like, oh, sex, easy, give it up. I don't care.
Hold on. All right, number 3. This one's easy for me too. By the way, I would give up Netflix for the month before my phone.
Yeah, I think if you have like other methods of entertaining yourself, then probably, but for me, like that's it.
I still pay for cable, and I have all the other streaming services, so I'm good.
I guess I could always like get cable for the month, but whatever.
By the way, 70% of people would rather give up the Netflix.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Coffee.
Oh my God.
Well, coffee's harder for you than alcohol?
Oh, yeah, because I drink a lot of coffee. I think I would rather give up coffee for a month because I could just like switch to energy drinks for the month.
There you go. I think I was surprised that you had to think about it. I thought that would be easy for you.
Oh, I love coffee. I have like a pretty insane caffeine addiction.
All right, here we go. Now
Like
we're
1,000 milligrams a day. I'm not joking.
now we're getting down to it. Your phone,
Embarrassing.
give it up completely, or social media.
Oh,
Now,
gosh,
keep in
social
mind-
media, I guess.
Okay. So you would even
Yeah.
now remember, even if you have
Yeah.
your phone, you can't use Facebook, Twitter, TikTok,
Right.
even
That's
with
fine. At least I could still communicate.
via text.
Yeah.
Okay.
With people, and I also deleted Twitter and TikTok anyway, and I haven't been on them since we had that conversation. So baby steps, man.
Look at you go. Look at you go.
I only have Facebook and Instagram now.
All right, we talked about this one, sex. You said you'd rather give up the sex?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean,
What kind of sex? All of it?
it says hand stuff is allowed.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, easy.
I'm joking. See,
I guess
here's the thing.
sex, yeah.
A month worth of sex is a lot less time than a month worth of phone communication. So
Right.
the whole thing.
Right. I would say like on average for us, it's like 3 to 4 times a week. And I'm on my phone a lot more than 3 to 4 times a week.
I just say I miss being your age. All right, Maddie, what would you rather give up for a month? Your phone or your significant other?
Oh, bye, Kent. Toodaloo.
You're not even joking, are you?
Sayonara. No, I'd rather give up my phone. I am like the clingiest person alive. And so if Kent was gone for a month, I mean, he'll be gone for like work. And I'll be like, oh my God, when are you going to be home? He'll be like 5 minutes late for work. And I'll be like, who is she? So I could not give up my significant other for a month. It would have to be my phone.
42% of people could. And by the way,
That's kind of sad.
and then number 7, the last one is, I have more actually. Your pets.
Okay.
I feel like
I would give them up before my phone. Definitely. They
See,
drive me fucking crazy.
there's no way I'm giving up my pets for a month. There's just
I know.
no way.
I know. We do not have the bond that you and your pet share. That's for sure. All day I'm just screaming at them like, get out of my way.
Well, I mean, I'm screaming at one of them all the time too, but I still love those little
Yeah.
fur balls.
Yeah. I think they'll be fine for a month.
All right,
Without me.
40% of people would give up their pets. What about exercise? Because now,
Oh, my
obviously,
phone. I'd give up my phone before I gave up the gym.
really,
Easy. I could not. I could
I
not.
would just. Oh man, I guess I can't exercise today. That stinks. What are we on day
I'm running a
15?
5K every day with COVID. It's that deep.
What about Amazon?
Oh, I give that up for a month. Easy. I don't really use it that often. But I mean, now with COVID, I've used it quite a bit just because I'm like, hey, I need cat litter and I can't go to the store. So guess I'll have to order it from Amazon.
They were asked how much it would cost to have your not access to a phone for a year. What would it cost
Like
you?
no access to a phone at all, not even to like call people.
They said if your phone was being taken away for a year, so you can't have a phone. You could probably borrow a phone and make a call maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it worries me with a kid. That's my only reservation is I would have to put a pretty hefty price tag on it because I still need to communicate for the sake of my child. So I would say if you want me to give up my phone for a year, it'd have to be, let's say like 5 million.
Well, you're in the millions.
Yeah.
70% of people
Yeah.
said $5,000. 15% of people
Y'all are
said
cheap.
$10,000. 12% of people said $15,000. 3% of us said they would pay. Okay, hold on. Wrong. I had it posed wrong. I posed the question wrong.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
rephrase it. Your phone's being taken away for a year. How much would you pay to keep it?
Oh, I wouldn't pay anything. I don't have any money. We would just have to leave.
But what about all the sake of your child stuff? What about it's worth $5 million? So you wouldn't pay $5 to get it back?
Oh, I mean, I would pay $5. I would pay whatever I had to keep it, but I don't have much.
Would you pay $500?
No,
You wouldn't pay $500 to keep your phone for a year?
I don't think so. No.
But it would take $5 million to take it away from you. That makes no
Yeah.
sense.
I don't think I could justify spending $500 on anything.
You probably paid more than $500 for your phone.
I didn't pay anything for my phone.
Okay, well, there it is. Okay.
I would call Shelly and say, hey, Shelly, I need a check for $500.
I've got 2 more topics before we wrap things up.
Okay.
I saw this on Reddit, and I thought this was interesting, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Reddit asked their users, what's something that feels illegal when you're doing it, but isn't illegal?
Oh, watching porn.
Okay, I don't even think that's on here. That feels illegal to you?
It feels wrong, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Taking too many napkins from a restaurant so that you can use them as tissues later.
That does feel illegal.
Trying to break into your own home when you're locked out.
I always think someone's going to call the police on me.
Right?
I'm like, I live here. And they're like, of course you do.
I love this one. Using a gas station bathroom without buying anything. I do. I try to sneak in, not make eye contact with the cashier, or just
See, a fast food restaurant to me is way worse than a gas station. Like a gas station, I feel like they're so used to it. But like when I have to go into a McDonald's and use the bathroom on a road trip and I don't pay for anything, I'm like,
exactly, like the hood's up. Exactly.
Yeah. But a gas station, not so much.
Opening a drink or a snack at the store before you paid for it.
Oh, it just makes me a nervous wreck. And when you have a kid, you get a little bit more lenient about it because they see you buying something they really like. And they're like, oh my gosh, those are my fruit snacks and I need them right now.
Yep.
And I'm like, we can't. They'll arrest us. The policemen are going to come.
Watching on the cameras.
I'm literally opening it. And I'm like, I swear to God, I'm going to pay for
it. When you're at a store and realize there's something in your pocket that they also sell there.
I don't think that's ever happened to me.
Okay. I can relate to that one. It's not the best one.
Sometimes I guess if you bring a drink into the store and you're walking around with the drink that you already purchased and you're walking around the store with it and then you get to check out and they're all like, did you buy that drink? Did you get that drink here? And you're like, no, I got it at a gas station.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh, they think I'm just a filthy liar.
It says this one's mostly for the guys, but adjusting your junk when you're out in public. I don't really get that vibe, but okay.
I don't think that's illegal. I mean, men certainly don't act like it's illegal.
It's not illegal, but sometimes reading a book at a bookstore for a while and then putting it back on the shelf.
Yeah, especially magazines, when you're waiting for your groceries to get checked out and you're looking at the magazine, you're like, oh, sorry.
I didn't pay for this article.
Yeah. That is funny.
Oh, yeah. That moment when you go through a metal detector and then you have an irrational fear that there's a gun in your pocket you forgot about.
Or it's always you go through it and you don't realize what the metal detector is picking up. And you're like, I don't think I have any metal on me. And then they're like, oh, it's your belt. And so you'll take your belt off and then you'll go through again and then it still goes off. And they're like,
yep, you're what
what are you hiding?
Ripping 1 or 2 bananas off of a bunch at the grocery store because you don't want that many?
Well, the thing is, you're totally allowed to do that because it goes by weight. You're totally allowed to do that. But I'm like, I guess it's fucking 6 bananas today. I only wanted 3, but I can't. It just feels not right. Or when you just want 1 less and you just take just a single banana off and it's just who's going to come through and only get 1 freaking banana?
No, you're right. You're allowed to do it. You
totally
pay by the weight.
To.
So,
but I never do. I'm always this is how many God wanted me to have today.
Well, and I don't want to if I'm getting a bunch of 5 bananas, I don't want a bunch of 2 and then a bunch of 3. I want just 1 set of 5. I don't even look at the less than 5.
Yeah. And then, so, I mean, long story short, I made a lot of banana bread because of that.
Oh, here's a good one.
An excess of bananas.
Turning the light on in your car while you're driving at night.
Listen, I was told that was illegal whenever I was a kid.
I know. Our parents told us that too. Why did they tell us that? Why did everyone's parents tell them that?
Harder to see. I don't know. I'm not doing that to my kid. I want him to grow up following the correct law. And the law says you can have the freaking light on if you want the light on, Shelly.
I think it's more of it's inconsiderate because it might be distracting to other drivers. They might want to look in the car.
It's for sure distracting. It's for sure distracting. Yeah,
but not illegal.
Right.
All right, and then here's one last thing for us to cover today, Maddie, and then I'll let you go recover by working out or whatever you deem to be.
Okay.
All right. What counts as being in a relationship? So I'm going to give you 10 scenarios, and you say when it starts to become a relationship.
Wait, one more thing that feels illegal, even though it's not, is being outside of your house when you have COVID and seeing people walk down the street.
Even though you're on your own property?
Yeah, like I'm totally allowed to do this, but I see them walking down the street and I'm like, I have COVID.
Did you bond with your neighbor?
Get away.
Because didn't your next door neighbor have it too?
Yeah, I think so.
Have you told them? Have you been like, hey, guess what?
I don't think so, unless they've seen it on social media. I haven't said it. Again, even though they've had it or may have had it, I can't really remember how long ago it's been or whatever, but I still wouldn't go over there and talk to them or anything.
Gotcha.
Because I would still be worried I would give it to him again.
No, I just mean you can talk to your neighbor if you're in the middle of your yard and they're along the fence.
No, it hasn't gotten brought up yet. But my one neighbor that lives on this side of me was weed eating the other day, and I was like, "You're too close, buddy, and you don't even know it."
All right, you ready for this last thing?
Yeah.
All right, so you tell me when it starts to be when you consider it being in a relationship. You ready?
Yeah.
You've been on a single date.
No.
Agreed. 5% of people say yes. You've been to
those are the clingers.
Right. You've been to their home.
No.
Agreed. You've been on 3 dates.
In a relationship?
Correct. Are you in a relationship?
No, you're just dating.
8% of people say yes, you're in a relationship at that point.
Okay.
You've had sex.
No.
I agree. 17% of people say that makes you in a relationship.
I've had 2 relationships, 2 adult relationships. Spoiler alert, I've had sex with more than 2 people.
I'm willing to guess probably a good bit more than 2 people.
I would say 5 times more.
But who knows what those people were telling everyone? Maybe they're like, hey, guess what? I just got into a relationship, wink, wink, with Maddie West. Yes, that Maddie
I have
West.
a hard time believing that any of them admitted to ever being in a relationship with me.
And then they're telling their friends hey, my friends just said that too. You've changed.
You too, man?
You've changed. You've changed your Facebook relationship status to in a relationship.
Oh, well then, yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, that's where the big jump takes place. 40% of people say that makes it.
I would say you're not agreeing to that unless you are in a relationship. So,
although I will say now that we're bringing this up, I remember I started to feel that way when because this happened first. Brittany put me in her profile picture.
Oh yeah,
it was a picture of us.
Yeah,
I'm wondering now. I wish that were being asked because that's an even better question. I feel like.
Yeah.
But that was...
Well, yeah, because not everyone puts that they're in a relationship when they're in a relationship. I don't even think I have that visible on my Facebook page.
Mine's never been visible.
And so definitely I think the profile picture is a bigger announcement, a bigger commitment.
I think one reason why I made it invisible until I got married was because let's say something went wrong and then you change it back. I don't want to deal with all of the hey man, are you okays or just whatever might come with that.
Right. Yeah. You're right.
All right. So that was still only 40% of people said that means they're officially in a relationship. I think that's too low.
Yeah.
The next one is you have a drawer at their place.
No, I still don't think that means you're in a relationship.
Okay. Well, 58% of people say yes. And I feel
think that means that you're seeing that person and spending. I don't think that you're in a relationship with someone until someone says, oh, "Do you want to be in a relationship?" And you're like, "Yes."
What about what about this one?
Okay.
You've both said "I love you." Then are you in a relationship?
No, I feel like you still have to ask. I feel like there still has to be a verbal commitment.
What about this one? By the way, 60% of people said if you both said "I love you," you're in a relationship.
Well, that's good.
You both agreed not to date other people.
Okay, then yeah, I think that's pretty well the same thing.
So then you're on board with the 70%.
Okay, yeah.
What about you've been dating for 6 months or more? Does that automatically make you in a relationship?
No.
Even though 72% of people agree with you, 72% disagree with you. I'm kind of with you.
Yeah, there just has to be a conversation there where you're like, hey, are we doing this legitly? like, and then you like agree to it. If not, then I feel like you're just setting yourself up for failure. Heartbreak.
The last one says you've been dating for a year or more, but you could still be like a booty call,
You can still listen. Yes, you can.
And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's your spot in somebody's life, there are worse spots you could be in, let me tell you.
And if that's your spot in somebody's life, please communicate with them. Please make it known, so you don't have one person thinking what the 70-something% think, which is that they're in a relationship, and then you're like the other majority that's like, no.
Well, you know who I'm in a relationship with, and I'm proud to change my relationship status on Facebook. I'm proud to tell them I love them. I'm proud to not see other people for 6 months, whatever.
Forever.
Spuds and stuff. I'll tell you, people ask me all the time. The answer is yes, I would never lie to you about who makes the best Philly cheesesteak in town. I'm telling you that Jason at Spuds and Stuff makes the best Philly in town. Trust me, I'm from Philadelphia. I don't think there's probably anyone in this city who's had more Philly cheesesteaks from the city than this guy right here. And that's Jason, Spuds and Stuff. He used to bring us in to help perfect his recipe. I tell him, you got some of this, maybe some more of this. So you definitely go with the cheese whiz. And I'm telling you, he's made his recipe perfection. Try it for yourself if you don't believe me. Also, don't forget the delicious spuds like the barbecue spud, the taco spud, the Raging Cajun, the Philly cheesesteak spud, the chicken bacon ranch, which is Maddie's favorite, or my favorite, the Buffalo Spud. They're at 2403 Washington Avenue on Evansville's east side, and the location at 41 in Boonville, New Harmony has now reopened. They're not hiring for drivers at both locations. And finally, today's show is brought to you by Gooden Consulting. If you are a tri-state business owner, especially lately, I'm sure you know how difficult it can be to keep everything going when your computers, networks, servers, and IT aren't working properly. Gooden Consulting wants to take those stresses off of your plate and be your friend in the IT world. Gooden Consulting oversees the IT for many businesses here in Evansville so that those companies don't have to worry about their networks failing, data breaches, computer viruses, secure backup, and much more. Gooden Consulting offers 24/7 system monitoring, providing you with true peace of mind, less downtime for you as they identify and solve problems before they even happen, fewer disruptions as they can provide most services remotely and overnight, predictable budgeting as they'll work with you to create a monthly flat rate for an all-inclusive IT service that monitors all of your company's hardware and software. Even if you're working from home, like Maddie is, Gooden Consulting can keep your machines and information safe by establishing and maintaining reliable VPNs. Join the growing number of tri-state doctor's offices, dentist offices, law firms, realty groups, and other local businesses that have let Gooden Consulting be their friend in the IT world. Call Cody at 812-402-0611 or visit goodenconsulting.com. If you'd like to advertise on the Rob's Podcast with Maddie West, please email the Rob's Podcast at gmail.com. Should we say we'll have an episode next week, Maddie?
I think so long as I feel how I do now, we definitely will. Even if I don't, I will do my best to be there.
You heard it here first. Maddie, thank you so much. Stay well.
No problem.
And we'll talk to you next week here on the Rob's Podcast with Maddie West.